Are you playing in the snow? Are you playing in the snow? Good boy. Good boy. Hey, where are you going? Hey.
I'm sidewalking.